Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, December 14th. Michael Owen's birthday. Happy Michael Owen's birthday. Besides that, here in Los Angeles, it is raining cats and dogs, and it has been for the past several hours. Not literally has it been raining cats and dogs, like figuratively, like it's been raining very heavily. It'd be very strange if it was actually raining cats and dogs. I wouldn't mind the dogs coming down because dogs are basically friendly, but cats could be, if they're coming down with the rain, they could, scratch you, which might be terrible. Oh, good morning, Sin. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Michael Owen's birthday. I hope you're having a nice day. Oh, you have clouds in Vegas and we'll get rain later. Yeah, it's been coming down here in LA. So much so that it was like, it's so weird hearing the rain in LA just because I am from Boston. So I'm used to it in Boston, but in LA, it's very strange because it very rarely rains in Los Angeles. Good morning, Yogi Lai. Cold and sunny in the Portland area. Okay. Well, I hope you have your hoodie on. I do. Good morning, Raquel. Nice to see you. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on this week as we edge toward our full moon in Gemini, which will the sun actually will be hitting the galactic center. I think it's Friday, which should be really great. Yeah, it is a nice change, this rain. I like it. Good morning, Stephanie, Steph MCC from Utah. I spent a little bit of time in Utah. Yeah. I spoke to my mom on the phone when I was in. She's like, "What are you doing in Utah?" She thought it was. I don't think she's been to Utah. It was an interesting experience. It was very cold. I was there last year, I think. Yeah. Yes to hoodies. We love hoodies. They're so great. Good morning, Laura Pills. Nice to see you. Hugs to you, Deb. Nice to see you today. So let's talk about what is going on in the heavens for you all. Mars is in Sagittarius, brought to you by Michael Prade yesterday in honor of the Aries moon. Good morning, Grandma Nay. Nice to see you. Utah is beautiful, but we are cool with keeping that to ourselves. Yes, I mean, I have to be honest. You guys were not very friendly to me. I'm sure you would have been, but I couldn't believe it. Maybe it's just because I'm more of an open person, but like you'd smile at people and they would scowl at you. Like it was very strange. The only other place where I felt uncomfortable is Beachy Head, which is in England. It's a notorious suicide spot in England that I visited not because I was suicidal, because it's beautiful. It's like these white chalk cliffs, and they were so cold, probably because I went to the Beachy Head pub, and I think that because it's just a dark energy there in Beachy Head, and people are pitching themselves off the cliff all the time, that, people just were very dire and very serious. But yeah, Utah was not very friendly to me. I got to be honest. It wasn't. Good morning, Gloria. Nice to see you. Oh, your Utah experience was strange. Okay, it was strange. Also, it's not just me. Yeah, the hiking was good. I did hike and I got to see, I think the Seven Sisters. I don't know. I'm not into that hiking stuff. I did it, but I'm not really into it. Anyway, we have Michael Prade here. Essentially, we have Mars in Sagittarius as it entered yesterday. So this is really good for us because Mars is, I think, going to be happier in Sag than in Scorpio, because Mars, I think, is much more fiery than watery, of course. So, oh, that's okay. I'm over it. I got over it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure if I saw you in Utah, Steph, you'd be very lovely, very nice and kind and friendly. So with Mars in Sagittarius, we're talking about the archer. Sagittarius is the archer. So it helps us to see what we want and aim and shoot. And that really is going to be key because we are headed toward this full moon in Gemini this weekend, Saturday, and also the sun will be hitting or crossing the galactic axis. So it's all about creating a new story, which some might say then gets propagated to the universe. So it's important to determine what new story you want to create. And this really harkens back to our new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius that we had on December 4th. So now with Mars in Sag, we can see things from a higher perspective, that's Sagittarius, and we can actually determine big picture perspective, what are we fighting for? Because an object in motion likes to stay in motion, we might be going after these goals that aren't really relevant to us. So it's important to see things from a high picture perspective with Mars in Sagittarius and determine what your target is. And it may have changed. It may have changed. It may have changed. So good morning, Right is Rain. Nice to see you. So yeah, we have this Mars and Sagittarius energy. It's you might want to write down like, what is your aim? What do you want? What is like big picture perspective going to be best for you? And then see your target and focus on it. Because the most important thing to remember this week, especially as we edge toward the Gemini full moon Saturday, is that we are always making choices, and that's going to be a big theme this Saturday. And the biggest choice, or one of the biggest choices you can make, is what you're going to focus on, because what you put your attention on will grow. That's why it's really important to focus on health as opposed to not getting sick. Because when you're focusing on not getting sick, you're still focusing on sickness. So you want to focus on health and vitality and strength and what have you. So keep that in mind. What is your focus? And what's going to help us is Mercury and Capricorn. So you're going to determine what it is that you want to fight for with Mars and Sagittarius. And then Mercury and Capricorn's going to help you determine your plan, man. So Mercury in Capricorn, Mercury is the way we think, the way we communicate, and Capricorn is extremely practical. So we might have some high-flying ideas with Mars and Sag, but you can bring them down to earth. We do have Mercury going retrograde end of December, and this week Venus will be going retrograde. And these retrogrades, I wouldn't worry about them in the sense that when you're aware of these retrogrades, you can really utilize them. And it's important to remember it's a perfect universe. So Mercury retrograde always gives us an opportunity to perfect our communications. And with Venus retrograde this week, we're going to get an opportunity to perfect how we love, what we value, and determine what we value and see whether or not it's still relevant. So we're going to relearn those lessons with Venus retrograde, as well as Mercury retrograde. But with Mercury and Capricorn, you can create a nice practical plan for yourself based upon what it is that you're aiming for. So just keep that in mind for this week. Well, while we're at it, folks, please do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And the big thing today, it's Michael Owen's birthday. Michael Owen's birthday. I mean, how awesome is this? Michael Owen's birthday. Michael Owen is a former English footballer. He played as a striker for Liverpool, Real Madrid, Newcastle United, Manchester United, and Stoke City. Oh, also the England national team. And he has retired from football since 2013, but he's actually now a racehorse breeder and owner, and regularly features as a sports pundit and commentator. I love how he is actually a racehorse breeder because he's a Sagittarius, which rules horses. They're very much connected to horses. There's actually a really great book that is about him and his life, and it's really great. Even if you're not into English football, it's really interesting. And we'll talk a little bit about his chart. But yeah, today we're still in the waxing moon cycle. So think about what you want to bring into your life, because you're going to see a manifestation of it this weekend with the full moon in Gemini. And what you might want to see, because under the new moon, even though this was a solar eclipse, we do have, those intentions that we set. We may not have lit candles under this solar eclipse that we had on the 4th of December, but still, there may have been things that you were trying to manifest, like a new story, as we spoke about. Now, this Gemini full moon that we have on Saturday, it's about seeing manifestations of your new moon goals or whatever it is that you've had your eye on. And what you might want to do is just look at the emotion as a manifestation, because everything that you wind up attracting in your life or manifesting, it starts in the psyche first. And when you experience the emotional effect of having what it is that you want, then you'll actually get your manifestations. So even if you just have a strong emotion this weekend, you're on your way. You're on your way. Today is Mars's day. So it's a great get shit done day. We had an Aries moon in the wee hours of the morning. Now the moon is in Taurus. So it's important with the Taurus moon, because an object in motion likes to stay in motion, to start our work early and to get on track. And then we'll not want to stop. But if we get lodged into the couch, and that is what we can do under Taurus moon, we might not get stuff done. So an object in motion likes to stay in motion. Focus on what you want to do and get cracking. That'll be really helpful. Taurus words and phrases include stability, security, sensuality. Taurus are very sensual, so do whatever you can to enjoy your body. Possessions, money, music. Taurus is extremely musical, so you might want to listen to some music today. They're loyal to a fault at times. Stubborn, practical, status quo, steadfast, and solid. So it is quite the day with this Taurus energy. It's a nice stabilizing influence. You just sat in the couch when I said that? Oh, you're aligned. You're aligned with this Taurus moon. But I'm glad you're getting shit done right as rain. 38 below at our airport this morning. Saw a shooting star. Now that's a nice little sign. It's still dark as night here. Really, wow. But I'm glad you're getting shit done. I'm glad you're getting shit done. So yeah, I wanted to show you a little bit about Michael Owens' chart, just because it just shows how astrology is so on point. The first thing that we notice is Mars is right on his ascendant. So Mars is the first planet after the ascendant. So as one of my astrology teachers once said to me, it's your first gumball. So whatever planet you have first in your astrology chart is the first energy that you encounter. And in Michael Owens' chart, Mars, planet of war, action, activity, it's the athlete. Mars is the first planet, and that's exasperated with Jupiter. So Jupiter expands whatever it touches, so that Jupiter is expanding and amplifying that Mars, which makes him an athlete. And because it's in Virgo, there's a certain dutifulness or certain service that is focused within this Mars energy. It makes him quite the go-getter. When anybody has Mars as like their first planet or an Aries rising, they have to have something to attack. And with him, it's a very, very practical, physical thing because of Virgo there in his chart. Meanwhile, he has a Virgo rising, which is makes so much sense, just because he is a Sagittarius, but he's rather quiet. I mean, in his book, he does speak candidly about things. He actually goes into his experiences with David Beckham a little bit. He touches on that, which is really interesting. But Virgo and Sag, the two signs square each other, right? So Virgos are very, very much, they're not opposite of Sag. They square Sag, but Virgos usually don't really talk much. They don't really say much. They're usually very private. They keep their brains in their heads, right? They don't speak. Unlike the other sign that Mercury rules, Gemini, which doesn't shut up, right? It says whatever it's thinking. Virgo keeps it within. And it's ironic because Sagittarius is like, blah, like they're very, very frank and outspoken. So with the Virgo energy, which he has so much of in his chart, he is going to be more quiet. But because he has a Virgo rising, Mercury rules his chart. And Mercury, if we notice, it's in Sagittarius at 3 degrees in the 4th house, which makes a lot of sense because his family really raised him to be a footballer. I think his dad was a footballer, and that was part of his upbringing, and he is he's very indebted to his dad in terms of what he has spoken about. He also has Saturn in the 2nd house of finances. So, and this is really interesting. I don't think that he's from hunger necessarily, but he certainly wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. So Saturn restricts things. And in the house of finances, there may have been some restriction there. Of course, later on in the chart, we have Pluto, which is about transformation and power, and clearly Michael Owen is doing fine financially now. It's interesting. He also has his moon in Libra. I think they're very much about relating to other people and communicating, and there is a need for communication, and you can actually see that now because he's a commentator. He speaks often about football and what's going on. So that's really interesting. Also, there's a beautiful trine between Venus in Capricorn and his Pluto. So excuse me, that's a square. There's a beautiful trine otherwise with his Venus in Capricorn and his Virgo Saturn. So that makes a lot more sense actually, in the sense that with Venus, it's allowing him to really work hard and understand his value and put it toward work. So you have a certain understanding of your value with Venus here in the 5th house of play and sports, and he was able to do a lot with it, with that. At the same time, he has suffered a tremendous amount of injuries, some that I don't think he's even recovered from yet. And that could be identified with Chiron here, which is woundedness at 9 degrees Taurus, making an exact trine to his 9-degree Mars. And it's a trine with that Jupiter, which, again, with that woundedness in the 9th house of publishing and broadcasting, in a lot of respects, the books that he writes and the things that he tells other people, that he speaks to the world, there's a sort of healing that's going on there. What I do think is interesting is that he is a Sun conjunct Neptune, Sun conjunct Neptune in his 4th house, which is, it makes him very photogenic, obviously, and very kind on the telly when he's on screen. It gives a nice image. But it also might give him a certain level of confusion and also sacrifice. And if you read the book, you'll notice that he suffered tremendously physically. I mean, he went through a lot and he sacrificed a lot every single day. What's also interesting, if you notice over here, he has his South node in Pisces. And his North node is here in Virgo, where he's going toward. But his background, where he's coming from, is Pisces. Keyword for Pisces is sacrifice. And 6th house has to do with routines and schedules. And, what he'll say in his book is that it was very boring in a lot of respects being a footballer. It was very 6th house, very mundane in the sense that he would practice. And the food that he ate was incredibly bland because they had to be at a certain weight, so they had to really watch what they ate. So it was extremely bland, like chicken and, I forget exactly what he ate, but it was very, very bland. And then he would wait like several hours looking at the walls in his hotel room, waiting for his game. So that's where he's coming from. And there's a sacrificial quality to that in the 6th house, right? In Pisces. But what he's moving toward is his North node in Virgo. In the 12th house, which is behind the scenes, and that's further emphasized with Virgo, which is quiet, and it shows how he's writing. He wrote that book, and he might write another one. So that is, I think, fascinating. I do think with Venus, actually, speaking of that, Venus is making a really rough square with Pluto, which may have resulted or may have reflected how he had some serious injuries with that energy there. But also he's made the most of it, and he's doing quite grand now, obviously. So that is Michael Owen's chart. So I caught you. Good morning, all. I'm glad you caught me, Stone Enchantress. We got at least 4 inches of snow last night, and it's still going. Oh boy. Hope the day is going well for you all. Thank you, Stone. Yeah, I think it is. I think the day is going well so far. It's nice having rain here. I agree. Snow is fun. I do miss the snow, although you can. The cool thing about living in LA is you can go to Big Bear, you can go to Lake Tahoe and get some snow if you really feel like it. So let's look at what's up for tomorrow. For tomorrow, you can't handle the truth, or maybe you'll have to handle the truth under the Taurus moon. Jack Nicholson is a Taurus. That's why he's here. And this is him from that great movie, A Few Good Men. A Few Good Men. So yeah, Wednesday, tomorrow, it's Mercury's day. So you want to pad your schedule with a little extra wiggle room. We'll still be under the Taurus moon, and that will be good for activities that yield solid results. Financial matters, nesting, resting, enjoying your body, enjoying music, enjoying food, just enjoying yourself as much as possible tomorrow. So keep that in mind. You know, like I said earlier, we're in this Mars and Sagittarius time, so it's a matter of determining what your target is, maybe even writing it down. What's the new story? And then coming up with some kind of practical plan with Mercury and Capricorn. Today, with it being the Taurus moon, you want to, really ground yourself to your goals and really nurture what you may have put into effect yesterday as well as this past weekend. And yeah, for tomorrow, it's more of that. It's more of grounding that energy. So I hope you guys have a really great day and they can really leverage this Taurus moon as we move toward the Gemini full moon on Saturday. So thank you all for joining me this morning. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you're looking for an astrology chart reading, find out what's going on in your chart, how this full moon is going to affect you, what you have to look forward to, what you might want to watch out for, we'll do that. We'll also run your tarot cards as well. Just check out my website, psychicsun.com, and we'll hook you up with a reading. And if you're looking for the perfect gift that will not be returned, in fact, it could be a game changer for your recipient, get a gift certificate to see me for a reading. And if you are so inclined, maybe assert yourself and say, you know what you can get me for Christmas or holiday or whatever? I want a gift certificate to see Joshua. Be assertive. It's Tuesday. It's a great day to be assertive, to work your throat chakra. Be assertive. Tell people what you want. If you want a gift certificate to see me, that is also on my website, and the link to all of that is in the description below. I hope you guys have a really, really great day. Oh, you're getting a gift certificate today. Brilliant. Well, and like I said previously, however you want it designed, you want it to be Christmassy, you want it to be snowflakey, you want it to be non-denominational, we'll hook you up. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon. You, Laura Pills, as well as everybody else, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.